Welcome to Sold Out Sunday. I'm Barbara Fagan-Smith. I am the Chief Catalyst at Living ROI. Living ROI is an organization that I just started recently, and it's really about helping you live a more soulful life. And we're having conversations. There's this journal, which actually you can download for free on the website, livingroi.com. And we're going to be really just talking about what are the elements of living a soulful life. And I have wonderful guests with me today. I have Mika and Marina. And do you guys want to just introduce yourself quickly, Mika?
Sure. My name's Mika, and I'm a senior in high school with Marina.
Yeah, and I'm Barbara's daughter.
Marina's my daughter. Thank you all who voted on what topic to do this week, and we will have voting every week, and you can also add a topic if you'd like, but the topic that won this time is self-care, which is something, it's such an important topic, and I am so thrilled to have these just bright, thoughtful senior high school students with me to talk about what self-care means to them, how they do it, what society tells us about self-care. So Mika, why don't I start with you?
All right.
And just, what does self-care mean to you?
It's kind of hard to define, like I was talking to you earlier, but I think it just means taking care of your body, first and foremost, and that includes your mind, just like taking care of, I don't know, if you have depression or anxiety, like making sure you're not feeding into those things with like your behaviors or your thoughts. So I think it's both like what you do in terms of exercise or in terms of eating, and those, because those things affects your body and how you feel emotionally, and also taking care of your thoughts and not necessarily doing what other people want or expect from you all the time, but doing what you need to feel whole.
So taking care of yourself, body, mind, spirit.
Yes.
Maybe. And Marina, anything to add to that?
Yeah, well, I think you did a good job summing it up, but I think making sure that you have all of the areas of your life so that you feel like you're balanced, so you're not focusing all your attention into one area. Like, I feel for myself that I need a lot of time outside, so if I'm focused a lot on homework or on schoolwork or friends, I'm spending a lot of time inside, then my self-care, I think, becomes unbalanced, and I need to find what means balance for me.
So self-care is a topic that, people talk about many times at different points in their life. And I would love to know, what's it like taking care of yourself as a senior in high school? Maybe what are some of the things that get in your way? And, so we'll just start with that. Tell me about being a senior in high school.
All right, well, I just took the SAT yesterday, and I also recently applied to college for the first time, which was crazy, but preparing for both of those things and working on my essays and working on studying, I felt like I had to prioritize that above all else, partially because maybe I kind of felt this external pressure, but also because I expect that of myself, and that's part of just how my brain is wired, but I began putting that ahead of self-care. I began staying home to work on an essay instead of going to the gym, for example, because I was this is what I need to prioritize. But ultimately I don't think that was the right decision, because I needed to go to the gym. I needed to be feeling invigorated by exercise, and I wasn't. I was just sitting and studying, which maybe is good for some aspect of my life, but you're talking about with balance, I wasn't balancing that with caring for myself in other ways.
So there are a lot of pressures, right, as a senior in high school, because you're sort of... So talk more about those pressures, Marina.
I feel, me personally, I don't have as many of the college pressures as my friends. So for me, a challenge of being a senior is not having to focus on the future, since I've kind of figured out my applications and I'm kind of set for college, and all my friends aren't. So they're spending all their time doing that and worrying about that, and I'm kind of in a place of oh man, all my friends are gone. They're all studying, or they're all applying to college right now, and that's just a stress that is around me. But I think that because my friends all kind of know that they need to spend time together, that we all need to spend time together, that we find a good way to make it work.
So do you find that you don't have as much trouble taking care of yourself in a way because of that? Maybe because of not having that pressure? Or so tell me about your experience with self-care as a senior in high school.
I think that throughout my entire high school career and most of my school career, I've always wanted to spend more time doing what I like, what makes me truly happy in the moment, and worry less about like my future or homework or what seems to be so important but really isn't, and it can really like take down your spirit. Like if you're late on a homework assignment and you like give that the most importance in your life, then you can like lose yourself in that, or you can lose yourself in other things. Like you could lose yourself in a friendship, or lose yourself in a relationship. Right. And I think that it's easy to just like get caught up in any of those things. And for me, I don't think that I've necessarily gotten caught up in school, but I've definitely found myself getting caught up in different things, or even getting in the pattern of just like sitting at home and watching TV, because like I'll be like, oh, I want to go on a hike so bad, or I want to go climbing so bad, but I'm just scared because, you know, maybe I'm not in the best place right now, and like I don't want to ruin that, what that feels like to me. But really, when I go do it, I love it, and I have such a good time, and I just want to go out there and do it more. But
right,
yeah. It can be hard to like get yourself out the door to, like,
right,
actually go do stuff.
That's what I was gonna say. I mean, this, you know, it's easier to stay sitting and watching TV sometimes, especially, you know, it's sort of a self-perpetuating thing. If you're not feeling great, and what you really need is to get out and to take care of yourself in that physical way, but it's even harder to do it. So
yeah, similarly, like I found that some days when I have lower self-esteem, it's even harder to get myself to go to the gym, which is so ironic because like whenever I do go to the gym, I actually feel great about myself because I'm like, I'm taking care of myself. Like I feel like I'm sweating, but I just feel so good right now. Like it like chemically makes me feel great, but then somehow it's hard to like overcome the hump of like, oh, I just feel so crappy right now, and like, you know, but it's like you have to get over the hump.
That is such a great point. I mean, I think about even, it's an ironic thing, I've read about this too, but if you're not feeling good about, you know, oh, I haven't been eating well and I'm not, you know, my body's just not the way I want it to be, then you want to eat more to kind of deal with those emotions, and it's sort of counter. So other thoughts?
Yeah, I definitely, if I'm feeling like I haven't gone outside or I haven't been active enough, I'll probably like my like autopilot to watching TV, like watching Friends, or just sitting in my room. And I don't know, when I actually force myself to go out and do it, then I'm happier, like instantly. I know that if I go on a hike, I'm instantly gonna feel better about whatever it is that I'm feeling. And I just have to know that and like keep reminding myself of those things that are important to me, of what I want in my life, like which people do I want to spend time with, what type of time do I want to spend with them, and how much, and like what kind of relationships do I want to kindle.
Well, actually, so I'm going to mention the Living ROI journal, since I know that both of you guys have done it. So how, you know, did working on the journal for you, the front part, I think you guys were doing the yearly sort of practice, how did that help you focus around what you care about?
Well, I think the part with like the circle where you kind of outline where you are in like these different areas of your life, like family or like your own living space, like how close you are to being towards your like ideal state. That part really helped me because it just kind of helped me realize like, whoa, like maybe I'm not as close like to my ideal as I want in this area, and it just kind of helped me really visualize that. And I think that kind of the first step in making your life better, or like getting towards where you want to be, is acknowledging that it's not quite where you want it to be right now. And that really like helped me do that.
That's
in a
great.
Fun visual way.
Yeah. I know. I love that. Gap analysis.
Yes.
It's called. Yeah.
It's like a spider web. That part I think was really cool, but I think the parts of the like beginning of the book that helped me the most were like the purpose and those, what are these sections in the beginning?
Yeah, so it's...
And like the values, identity, code of conduct, values, purpose, all of those things are like, when I look at what I wrote there, I can just think of like ways that I can actually live up to those, or live up to how I want to be.
Yeah, and like live a life of intention, and actually like think about being the person that like you want to be, and like the person that you kind of sometimes say that you are. It's like, well, are you being like, do you have integrity all the time? Like, are you being a kind person in like all these areas of your life? Because it just helps you. Like,
I love that. In fact, the other area that is in here is around that, which is it's reflections, my reflections, and who do you need to become to live the life that you want to live, right? And who is the person, what are the traits of people you admire? So that ties back into integrity and your purpose and your values and your identity, for sure. Yeah. So, it's interesting. I was having a conversation earlier with Devin, who's here helping us with the camera, and you will meet Devin soon in a future Sold Out Sunday. We were talking about how society, the messages of society, the culture that we've been brought up in doesn't always support us taking care of ourselves. So from your perspective, what are the messages that you hear around how you should be spending your time or what you should be doing, and how does self-care fit in there, or does it?
Well, one of the things that I already mentioned was like the school pressure and pressure to, just like maximize, get perfect grades all the time, instead of like maybe one night you shouldn't do a homework assignment because you're just exhausted, and what would be best for you would be to just go to sleep.
Right.
And ultimately, like, that one assignment isn't gonna like rip apart your grades.
Right.
It's like you can do it tomorrow and it's gonna be okay. And one area that I don't think we've addressed as much yet is kind of friends and like friends.
I was about to say
like expectations that your friends might have for you, like joining them in like not necessarily like self-destructive activities, but maybe you have plans with your friends and you don't feel comfortable canceling on them, even though really what you need is like a day to yourself or just some time to like journal or nap or rest. There's kind of a pressure to like still just go out with them and have fun, and maybe like that you think that they wouldn't understand if you honestly told them like, I'm not feeling up to that right now.
Right. That's such a good point, Mika. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
And that's what we do as friends, like try and support each other in being able to cancel and take care of ourselves, so that we feel like you can still have a good friendship and feel safe in your friendship when you're taking care of yourself, instead of like you're having to give to the people all the time. It's just like kind of an equal friendship. But I think that there are two main areas of pressure that I feel like there are expectations for me in, and it's like adults and peers, because I feel pressure from adults to be planning for my future, or to have an idea of what I want to do with my life, with my job, or like have an idea of how I'm going to make a difference in the world, or even just where I'm going to go to college. And I know that where I'm going to go to college is something that really makes sense right now, but what I'm going to do with my life, like that's not really something that I have to worry about right now. And it's not something I want to have to think about, because it's just, I'm not there in my life yet.
Future tripping.
Yes, future tripping.
That's what I call it. Yeah.
I'm not thinking about like what soccer program my kids are going to be going to, because I'm not there yet, right?
It's like, live your life now.
I just want to be here right now. And then from peers, I feel pressure physically on like how I should look. I feel like there's definitely pressure, especially on women, of like how you should look all the time, and I don't think that necessarily helps with self-care. And also about social pressures, like there's a pressure to go out and feel like you're like doing something all the time, or like you have friends, or you're popular. And I think that takes away from like true friendships that can be built from like just actually enjoying the company that you're with, instead of feeling like you're forcing yourself to be with company all the time.
That is like a whole topic, which would be great to explore. I mean, one is just the pressures of the social pressures, and then also social media and how that plays into it, because I know it definitely plays into it. Yeah, great. Yeah, so awesome, you guys. Well, I have found, I wanted to say something about society. I know when you were talking, Marina, the ironic thing, and Mika, when you were talking too, when that irony of you want to feel better, and you know what you can do to feel better, but you don't want to do it because you're not feeling good, and figuring that out. There was some other way I was thinking about it, but that's okay. So I want to congratulate you, Mika, on doing your application, doing your last SAT, woo! And Marina, you too, finishing your application, and you're done with your SAT, thank goodness. What message would you have out there to other high school women and guys that you want to share in terms of self-care?
I've got it.
You got it?
Yeah. Well, I think that it's not just right now, but like throughout life, there's a struggle between finding the balance between doing stuff for the present and doing stuff for the future. And senior year of high school, it's very easy to be consumed by just like doing stuff for the future. And like, I don't know, I would say that right now a big part of self-care is like trying to keep balance between doing things for you right now, just like taking a little trip or walk with your friends, you know, having a good time, but also preparing yourself for the future. And I think it's easy to get lost in the future, but like remember to keep bringing yourself back to the present.
Awesome. And I think to add on to that, from doing things for yourself versus doing things for other people, and make sure you're always doing things for yourself, because if everybody does what they need for themselves, then you know that they're doing what's right when maybe they cancel a plan with you or something, because you trust that they're doing what's best for them, and you want what's best for everyone because you care about them.
And they're taking care of themselves, and you're taking care of yourself. So thank you so much, and I hope that you guys come back to Sold Out Sunday sometime, and we can talk more. This time went so quickly. And have a wonderful week, everyone. And if you get a chance, download your journal, spend some time thinking about, you know, what type of a life you want to live and how you can incorporate it into your life this week, this day, this moment, because life happens like right now. Thanks, everyone. Your life is waiting.